Hey guys, it's Simon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here live on Twitch, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. Today is the 15th of July, 2020, and we're going to talk about everything that went down tonight on AEW Fight for the Fallen and WWE NXT. The Fight for the Fallen was a quote-unquote special edition of one not double or nothing, Dynamite. And then NXT was just, well, an episode of NXT. I thought both shows were pretty good. AEW did have the better show overall, we'll say that for sure. But I did enjoy both of these shows. Whoa. My screen just went a little wonky. Stream's fine though. That was weird. But with that, we do got a lot to talk about tonight. We got, like I said, AEW. We got NXT. Letting some of you guys jump in here on the Twitch chat. A little housekeeping before we get going. Nick and I are going to be live tomorrow night doing some streaming here on Twitch. Think it's going to be a video game stream if everything goes according to plan. Also, we will be live here on Twitch this Saturday night following the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary pay-per-view. Slammiversary is available on Fight TV this coming Saturday night. And then we will be live yet again this coming Sunday, for the WWE Extreme Rules pay-per-view review. So we're going to be live, technically, we're going to be live, not counting tonight, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the next 7 days straight. We will be live right here, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. So with that, let's kick it off with talking about some AEW Fight for the Fallen. So Excalibur, Jim Ross, and Taz open up the show on commentary. Tony Schiavone was not on the show tonight as a precaution due to COVID-19. Apparently, his test hadn't came back, which is weird. Everybody else that were supposed to be on the show tonight got their tests back. So I don't know exactly what happened with Tony, but yeah, hopefully everything's good with Tony Schiavone. And yeah, I don't have any more information on that, but Taz filled in the first half of the show. Jericho filled in on commentary for the second half of the show. The show itself, though, did kick off action with the TNT Championship match. Cody defending against Sonny Kiss. So they went real heavy with a 4 Horsemen tease. Cody also talked about this in a recent interview, saying, hey, if we do something like 4 Horsemen, it's got to be something that happens. What's the word he's saying? What's the word he said? I can't think of the word. But he said we're not doing anything 4 Horsemen related on purpose. We're not just going to copy that or whatever. It's got to happen on its own or something. He used a specific word, but I can't remember exactly what that word was. They did point out that Tully Blanchard was in the crowd and showed him several times throughout this match, and especially at the end, soon as Cody won. So Sonny Kiss got a big entrance with the Jacksonville Jaguar cheerleaders. Got this entrance last year, I believe, at Fight for the Fallen as well. The match itself was very good, but, well, felt a little secondary to the Tully Blanchard stuff, to be 100% honest. Cody appeared to be taking Kiss lightly early on in this match. Kiss hit a rolling elbow. Arn gave Cody a pep talk. Cody then used a full Nelson and started just whooping the shit out of frickin' Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss did come back at one point with the head scissors. Kiss missed a leg slice off the top and landed in the splits. Kiss recovered and used a 450 for a near fall. Cody took control of the match here with the vertebreaker. Cody hit a superplex for a near fall. Cody and Arn were both heelish in arguing with ref Aubrey Edwards for a slow count here. Cody used a crossface, but Kiss forced the break. Cody then exposed the top turnbuckle again. More heel shit. Kiss rolled him up for a 2 off of this, and they traded strikes. The finish of the match then came just basically right out of nowhere. Cody blocked a strike, hit the crossroads, bada bing, bada boom, 1, 2, 3, and they immediately cut to Tully Blanchard. What are they doing here? Are they really building up a new Four Horsemen? Or some sort of a group with Tully? I don't know who can be in this group. I mean, you've got Cody, Shawn Spears, maybe FTR, maybe, I mean, it wouldn't be 4 Horsemen, it'd be 5 Horsemen, but Hangman Page, maybe Hangman instead of Cody. I don't know where they're going with this, but they're teasing some deal where Tully Blanchard's looking for more people, I guess, because they showed him here watching Cody very intently, and they also showed him watching FTR very intently. And FTR had a slight little thing with we'll talk about it. They did a thing with Paige. So after the match, Cody and Kiss embraced with a hug, and Taz said, "You ain't gonna see this after the title match tonight, after that world title match. Ain't nobody embracing after that match, bro." The announcers detailed the COVID relief charities that they would be supporting tonight. Go to AEWFightForTheFallen.com, order any of the T-shirts available, might be only one, and all proceeds will go to the 2 charities in Florida. Next up, we had FTR versus the Lucha Bros, or the Lucha Brothers, as they call them. They again pointed out that Tully Blanchard was in the crowd, possibly scouting FTR. So, Pentagon and Harwood started off the match. Pentagon and Phoenix got some shine early on with some tandem offense. Wheeler and Phoenix got tags, and things flipped in FTR's favor. Pentagon saved Phoenix, and the Lucha Bros were back in control after a commercial break. Commentary would really put over the fact that Phoenix had a great match with Nick Jackson on Dynamite. And that was one of the, JR said, one of the best matches he's ever called. Wheeler got a tag and immediately cut off. Phoenix hit a pop-up splash off Pentagon's shoulders. Pentagon hit a springboard leg drop for a 2. Harwood tagged in and hit a modified Doomsday device for a near fall. The match at one point broke down into a big old brawl with all 4 guys fighting. Pentagon hit a sling blade on Wheeler. Pentagon teased a destroyer on the apron. Wheeler blocked it. They traded chops. Wheeler hit a tornado DDT through the ropes. Phoenix hit a springboard splash on the post off the post to the floor. The finish then saw Harwood rip Phoenix's mask. Phoenix covered his face, and Harwood cradled him for the pinfall victory. After the match, the Young Bucks would attack the Butcher and the Blade, who were there on behalf of the Lucha Brothers. They took back the keys to FTR's truck, and Kenny Omega came out with a cooler of beer. The Bucks gave FTR their truck keys, and Omega offered a toast and some beer. I'm like, oh, what? Kenny gonna drink? And then, well, FTR poured the beer over Omega's head. Omega tried to charge at FTR, and the Young Bucks held him back. FTR then took their keys and, well, went to their truck and left. Next up, Jericho came out for a promo with Santana Ortiz and Jake Hager. Jericho said he beat Orange Cassidy in one of the greatest matches in AEW history. And not only did he win the match, but he won the ratings war as well, and I just fucking lost my shit when this happened. Yeah, I'm pissed. Why the fuck do they need to bring this up? Jericho said, we may have not won the overall, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the demographics, the 18 to 49 demo. That's what's important. That's what everybody looks at. He said, I never lose in the 18 to 49 demo. I'm the demo god. The only thing worse than the demo talk on Twitter is the demo talk on television. I'm going to say it right now. It was horrible. Horrific. Basically, they're saying, WWE may have had more viewers than us, but we won in the demo. We won in the demo. I'm the demo god. Shut the fuck up. I'm so sick and tired of AEW and their bullshit trying to take jabs at WWE, especially when WWE technically kind of sort of does better than them. Yeah, advertisers do look at the 18 to 49 sometimes more than the overall. But in the end, you were still beat in that overall. So, fuck me. Fuck me. I'm sick of it. I'm going to say it right now. I'm sick of it. So Jericho says he wants fans to rewatch. Or he says fans, the network, sponsors, everybody wants a rematch of him and Cassidy because it did so great in the ratings. Jericho said, yeah, well, that's never going to happen. Whereas Cassidy would then enter in through the crowd. Jericho said Cassidy did great last week, but proved that he's too lazy to hang with Jericho at a top level. Cassidy snapped his fingers, and orange juice dropped from the ceiling, dousing all 4 members in the ring of the Inner Circle, mainly Chris Jericho. Inner Circle was quote-unquote juiced. Ortiz made himself look like a goddamn fool, taking multiple bumps in the orange juice. Jericho called for a towel, and what happened? He was thrown a towel with Orange Cassidy's face on it. I thought this was bad. Really, 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 times 10 really bad. So Alex Marvez. Oh, then they told us, after the break, Jericho's joining us on commentary. Wonder how he's going to be after getting doused with orange juice. So Alex Marvez interviews Jurassic Express. Marco's Stunt said Jericho was an idiot for getting covered in orange juice. Luchasaurus said 65 million years. After 65 million years, he's finally getting a chance to wrestle the Elite. Dan the Man says, I thought it was thumbs up, thumbs down. He did that, and then he snapped the fingers, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought he did the whole thumbs up, thumbs down. Jericho said, oh, cute, a thumbs down. And then I thought he snapped the fingers after Jericho said that. So Jericho joined commentary to take Taz's place, and he ranted about the orange juice stuff. He ranted about Jungle Express teasing him. And then they teased Jericho by showing a bunch of replays. Because Excalibur had to go, hey, you know what people in the 18 to 49 demo like, Jericho? Replays. Let's see a replay. And Jericho goes, oh, what are you doing? And he showed the replay of Jericho getting doused with the orange juice. And Jim Ross had to go, I didn't call for that replay. It was fucking dumb. They talked about this for multiple minutes. Showed multiple replays. Get the fuck out of here. So next up, we had a 6-man tag team match. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks against Jurassic Express. I thought this was the best match of the show. Yeah, better than the main event. So Nick and Jungle Boy began with a great exchange. They again talked about Nick's match back in like October, I think it was. Maybe November with Ray Phoenix. And then all of a sudden, Jungle Boy did a bunch of cool high spots. And they were like, oh, hey, Jungle Boy can go too. So Omega got tagged in here. They presented that Omega was taking Stunt lightly. Omega gave Stunt a lot of offense, though. Luchasaurus and Matt finally got in. Things quickly broke down before a commercial break, and all 6 were brawling on the floor. Omega hit a Terminator dive before they went to break. After the commercial, Luchasaurus got the tag and ran wild with a variety of kicks. He hit a standing moonsault on Nick, and Omega saved the cover, saved the pin. After, I read that already. Omega tagged in to face off with Luchasaurus. Omega hit a Snapdragon suplex on all three Jurassic Express members. Jurassic Express came back with an extinction level event on Omega. The Bucks made the same save after the cover. The Elite hit a triple Tiger Driver on Luchasaurus for a near fall. Jungle Boy hit the top rope Frankensteiner on Nick, and Marco hit a 450, but Matt May made the save. Something hit a Tower of Doom Destroyer off Luchasaurus' shoulders onto Matt for a near fall. Incredible looking spot. Incredible. Omega then started hitting V-triggers. He went for a one-winged angel, but stunt blocked and rolled him up for a near fall. Omega then hit a V-trigger and a one-winged angel on Marco Stunt to pick up the victory. Excuse me. So at one point during the match, they show Hangman Page watching in the bar backstage, and FTR joins him. After the match, something happens and Omega goes nuts. Omega goes over to Marco and says something, I don't remember exactly what, and he points out at Marco and starts just beating the shit out of him. Just starts raining down punches. And the Bucks pull him off, basically. They teased on BTE. Omega's is going to bring back the cleaner character. They teased it a while ago. I don't know if they teased it recently. And I guess this may be the first sign of Jericho kind of getting that cleaner mentality and going nuts again. Because when he was the cleaner in Bullet Club, he was heel, and he was kind of crazy. At least that's how I always perceived the character of the cleaner. Cool, but sometimes crazy. So maybe first signs of Omega turning, Page maybe doing something with FTR. I don't know, but hey, I'm a little interested to see where this Omega thing goes. Especially if maybe he turns on the Bucks or even turns on Page before they lose the titles. So Alex Marvez interviewed the AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida. Marvez mentioned that 4 of the top 5 ranked women in the company are unavailable for various reasons and asked if that meant Shida was ready for Nyla Rose. Shida cut a promo in perfect English. Her English is getting great. She said that she is always ready for Nyla, but it doesn't have to be Nyla. She said there are plenty of talented women in this company. She said if you have the passion, step up and show her and challenge her. They have announced a few new women coming into AEW or returning after only doing like one match or so. Ivalisa's coming back. Nyla's got a new manager. And even on social media tonight, Thunder Rosa was really hyping up that she could come to AEW, especially when they posted this video on, social media. So Moxley cut a pretty damn good promo from, I guess, the parking lot or whatever, but this was great. He said things haven't been great lately, but things are better today, because today he gets to hit and be hit in the ring. Moxley said that Taz's whole breakdown deal, I forget exactly what he calls it, but Taz's breakdown stated that Cage is too big for Moxley to actually hit the paradigm shift on. But Moxley's got another attack. Moxley's got another approach. He's going to go after the left bicep, the surgically repaired bicep of Brian Cage. That kept him out of action for 5 months. Remember, guys, if you want to be part of the show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, text your thoughts, questions, concerns on AEW Dynamite, NXT tonight, or anything else wrestling related to 510-906-1341. The number should scroll across the screen periodically throughout the show. So the Nightmare Sisters had a match. It's Brandy and Allie, who don't really get along. I haven't seen any of this before since I don't watch AEW Dark. Actually, I take that back. I watched the Brian Cage Pillman match from yesterday, but don't normally watch any of Dark, and that's all I watched from last night's show. But regardless, I hadn't seen any of the Brandy Allie stuff, so when they started this match, I'm like, I thought Brandy hated Allie and it wanted nothing to do with her. And then they're working together, but not working well together. I don't know. They're reluctant to be partners, I guess you can say. It's basically a squash match. They took on Kenzie Page and MJ Jenkins, who made her AEW debut tonight. I believe it's her AEW debut. I don't remember if she was in the Battle Royal last year at All Out, the Women's Battle Royal. But they said it was her debut, so I'm going to go with what Jericho said. Again, basically, this was a squash match. The finish of the match saw Brandy come to Allie's aid and hit a spear on an interfering Page as Allie hit the GTR on Jenkins to pick up the victory. There was a little dissension. Well, not really dissension, but Brandy blind tagged herself in at one point, and Allie didn't like that, and da-da-da-da. Dustin raised Brandy's arm, but then at first he didn't raise Allie's arm, so Allie got mad. So then he finally raised Allie's arm, and then Brandy got mad. I don't fucking know what's going on with this. Next up, we got Dasha in the ring. And she calls for an interview with Nyla Rose. She said Nyla Rose is a former women's champion. That pissed off Nyla. She said, Nyla, last week you told us that you're going to get yourself a manager. You care to tell us tonight who that manager is? Nyla healed up and said, you called me a former champion. I ain't going to tell you nothing. You know what? I'll let them tell you guys. And then we heard it. Excuse me? Fucking Vicky Guerrero, the manager of Nyla Rose. Nyla said last week she wants a manager because when people in AEW get managers, a lot of times they get championships. Managers help them win titles. So she wants a manager. And she got none other than fucking Vicky Guerrero. Are you kidding me? Who has ever taken Vicky Guerrero serious and nothing more than a gimmick and a comedy act? I mean, the whole time she was in WWE, she was a comedy act. They did the stuff where she was the SmackDown general manager, the stuff with she married Edge. Like, and then she was Dolph's manager, and they tried to make her serious, and she really wasn't serious. And they did the whole thing where she said, Dolph, you need to cut your hair and let it go brown. And then Dolph didn't like that, so he bleached it again. And then he had short. I had never thought Vicky was someone you could take serious, because she just never has. So Dasha says, well, Vicky, what is your plan going forward with Nyla? And Vicky says, you think we're really going to tell people our plan? She cut a promo on the women's division. She said when they decide to go after that title, no one will be able to stop Nyla Rose. She said that Nyla will steal every opportunity from everybody in this division. And she said something about, oh, no, never mind, I wrote that wrong. Let me reread that sentence. She said that Rose will steal every opportunity from everybody in the division, and then she laughed maniacally. I thought it was an okay promo by Vicky, but it's like another fucking WWE castaway, another former WWE person. Do we need it? No. Do we need Vicky Guerrero managing Nyla Rose? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. We got stuff announced for next week. Cody's defending the TNT title. Open challenge. No challenger named yet. They said Arn hasn't decided that yet. Hangman will be taking on 5 of the Dark Order. Ivelisse will be taking on Diamante. I hope I said that right. MJF is in action with Wardlow in his corner. The Young Bucks will be taking on the Butcher and the Blade in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus will be taking on Jericho and Jake Hager. Main event time. Taz cut a promo beforehand. Basically just said that he basically said that Brian Cage is the FTW champion. He's going to win the AEW World Championship tonight and become a double champion. Moxley entered wearing a Danny Havoc t-shirt to honor his friend who recently passed away. So I thought this was a pretty good match. I really enjoyed it. They really did a lot of good storytelling in this match. They tried to protect Cage on the finish, though, which I kind of didn't. I get it. And we'll get into that. So Moxley was dominant early on. He went after Cage's arm, as he promised to do in his promo. He used a variety of holds in attacking the arm. They brawled outside, and Moxley continued working on the arm. Moxley set up the guardrail at one point and teased suplexing Cage onto it, but instead Cage reversed it and German suplexed Moxley onto the steel, not steps as JR said, but guardrail. This was all taking place right before a commercial break. Cage continued working over Moxley throughout the break, as we saw in picture-in-picture. Cage hit a few different suplexes and used a chin lock. Moxley came back with a clothesline and posted Cage. Moxley used a cradle for a 2. Cage cut him off with a lariat. Cage went for a moonsault but missed. Moxley had a double arm DDT, but Cage kicked out. The announcers called this as the paradigm shift, but it wasn't the high angle double arm DDT that he normally does as the paradigm shift. Moxley then hit a suplex for a 2 and then went for a Kimura on that left arm. Cage slid out and hit a buckle bomb. Cage hit a suplex off the second rope. Moxley then blocked a drill claw attempt and rolled it into an armbar. Cage kept his fingers locked, so Moxley couldn't fully lock in the armbar. Moxley slipped to a triangle and back to the armbar. Taz started freaking out on the floor. With Cage in the armbar, Tazwell threw in the towel, and referee Rick Knox called for the bell. So they basically tried telling us on commentary, Moxley defended the title. Moxley successfully retains the title, but he didn't really beat Cage because Taz threw in the towel. Cage is still... They said Cage hadn't been pinned, or they said something along those lines, and all of a sudden Cage grabs the FTW title from Taz and attacks Moxley with it. So basically it's like he couldn't get out of the armbar. Taz didn't want the bicep to be ruptured and damaged worse than it already had been previously. So Taz calls the match off. But then Cage is perfectly fine after, goes after Mox. But then the lights go out. And you hear Jericho start yelling, "We not pay the bills? What happened? The lights are out. It's pitch black in here." And then all of a sudden lights come back on and Darby Allin is on the top rope. Came off the top rope and hit Cage in the throat with a skateboard. Cage and Taz then bailed. Allin and Moxley went face to face. Cage tried to come back in the ring, but Taz stopped him. Referees and security as well. Commentary, they let us know, hey, there's a history between Moxley and Darby Allin. But tonight, Allin saved Jon Moxley. Allin's music plays, and the show goes off the air. So that's how the show ended. They wanted to keep Cage looking strong by him technically not getting beat, I guess you can say, per se. He didn't tap. He wasn't pinned. But in the end, he still lost and didn't win the title. Because, well, Taz threw in the towel. But I thought overall, Dynamite was a pretty good show. We had a lot of great matches. We had, the world title match was really, really good. The 6-man tag was really, really good. The FTR Lucha Bros match was great. And even for what it was, Sonny Kiss and Cody was better than I expected. But with that was AEW. And if I had to rate the show, because I know you guys are going to ask, I think I'm going to give it probably... it's a tough one. You know what? I'm leaning between 7.5 and 8, so I'm going to go 7 3/4. I'm going to go 7 3/4. Not 7.5, but not quite an 8, I didn't think. Next up, we move on to NXT. NXT tonight was a pretty good show as well. Not as good. That show I'm going to rate a 7. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm just going to give that one a 7. But the show kicked off with the double champ, Keith Lee, coming down to the ring. He was announced as the NXT North American and new NXT champion. He said, "Man, that sounds so sweet. Let me hear you say it again. Let me hear you say it again." So she did the announcement again, calling him the North American and new NXT champion, Keith Lee. So Lee started talking about his journey to NXT. And he says that there is something very special about what happens in an NXT ring. He feels that standing there and holding the championship belts is great. And he laid them both down on the mat. He is not in disbelief over this, though. He said he was not fooled and will not fool himself. He celebrated, but now it's another week and he's back to reality. Here's the one criticism I have of Keith Lee. The only criticism. I feel like sometimes he's trying to make himself sound more intelligent, and he's an intelligent guy. But it sound like the way his dialect is, it's like a man trying to sound like he's giving you a speech. And he doesn't have enough passion in his promos sometimes because of the way his dialect goes. Lee went on to say that he knows there's a locker room full of people that want the opportunity that he has. And they might want to come after him. And he understands the opportunity that he was presented. And Lee acknowledges it and said he did not do this alone. He mentioned Killer Tim Brooks, his trainer. He's called him more than a trainer, basically a father figure to him. He said he believed in Keith when nobody did. Lee then looked into the camera and addressed the viewers. He acknowledged their role in helping him as well. He said that they welcomed him with open arms. He talked about fans singing for him with all their love, passion, and the entire world now knows to bask in his glory. Lee said he is embracing Tim Brooks and the WWE Universe. Lee proceeded to say there's one other man, maybe a foe of sorts, that actually helped me get here as well. Dominik Dijakovic, I saw you backstage. I need you to come down to the ring. So Dominik Dijakovic comes down wearing a in memory of Shad Gaspard shirt. Dijak said he's proud of Keith Lee and was proud of that moment that he got last week. Lee disagreed and said it was about them both and their feud. Dijak tested him and his limits like no one else did. And he said that really helped him become who he is today. Lee said that he wants Dijakovic to be his first challenger for both belts. He said he already spoke to William Regal, and Regal agrees. He said, all you have to do is say yes. And when's this match going to happen? I'm ready to compete. I'm dressed for it. Let's do this tonight. Crowd started chanting, just say yes, just say yes. Dijakovic was overcome with emotion and just said yes. So the match was on. Title match later tonight. Keith Lee, Dijakovic, both titles on the line. Keith Lee got a great promo, but like I said, he just needs a little more passion in that voice. Just a little more. Like, Tim Brooks really got me here. I mean, I'm not someone to say, how you should be doing your promos, because I'm not a pro wrestler or someone in wrestling. But it's just something that's always got me about Keith Lee. It's just like his delivery is always there, but not, it's like always there, but not there a lot of times. The first match of the night was Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes. Remember, last time Cameron Grimes did win this match. Well, the matchup between the two. Grimes tried jumping Priest at the bell, but Priest booted him in the face. Priest rocked Grimes with a flurry of strikes. Grimes ate some back elbows and a spinning back kick. The fight spilled to the floor. Grimes caught him coming back into the ring. Grimes went to work on Priest as he gained control. Show cut to picture-in-picture, which is kind of weird because usually in WWE you kind of can tell when they're about to go to commercial by the way the commentators are talking, but it just cut. Like, oh crap, we went too long, we need to get a commercial in. So, when they came back from commercial, Priest was clotheslined over the ropes. They fought on the floor. Priest executed a razor's edge that sent Grimes into the corner of the apron. Nevertheless, though, Grimes came right back with an O'Connor roll for a 2 in the ring. Priest answered in return with a flatliner for a near fall. Grimes, with more near falls, caught Priest a couple times in a small package. Grimes with a modified one-arm Spanish fly into a body press for another 2 count. Grimes then got cocky, maybe a little too cocky. Priest hulked up and hit a cyclone kick, followed by a draping version of the Reckoning. Priest then went for the cover and got the deciding pinfall over one Cameron Grimes. So I believe they're 1-1 now in their little feud. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're 1-1. Got another Timothy Thatcher seminar video package. Today's lesson is something he taught Oney Lorcan at the Great American Bash. That is, for every submission, there is something to be learned. Thatcher then proceeded to torture a student with the Fujiwara armbar. We learned that Thatcher will be in action later tonight. Next up, we got Indy Hartwell versus Shotzi Blackheart. Hartwell pinned Blackheart. Kind of an upset victory. They've been really pushing Shotzi Blackheart as of late, and then she just loses. She just loses. Yet, there was interference from Aaliyah and Robert Stone. They kind of been having a deal with Shotzi, so I guess that makes a little sense. Not much to the match, though, other than, like I said, Aaliyah and Robert Stone did cause some interference that led to Indy Hartwell winning. Tegan Nox, in a backstage interview, cut a heck of a babyface promo, vowing to win the NXT Women's Championship later tonight when she challenges Io Shirai. Thought Tegan Nox came off in this promo as a tremendous star and almost made me believe that she was going to win. Got a vignette with El Legado del Fantasma. They were sitting around a fancy table plotting to build their empire. They also look like stars. The way they're dressed and just the delivery and the way they come off. Got a hype video for Keith Lee, the new double champ. Much like the first hour of the show, the second hour opens with a segment featuring, well, Keith Lee. Then we go into Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic with both titles on the line. I expected this to be the main event. Nope. They let the women main event. Cool. Really good match between Keith Lee and Dijakovic. I don't think it's their best match that they've had of their many. But nonetheless, it was still really good. This was much different than their previous bouts. The previous bouts, they wowed with psychology more than they did tonight. Or no, they wowed with a lot of psychology tonight more than the high spot after high spot after high spot that they usually do. The match starts off and they're all smiles, ready to get to work. Match starts at a deliberate pace. Dijakovic almost caught Lee with his finisher early, but Lee escaped. And they had a little stalemate there as we went to commercial break. Dijakovic was working over Lee when the show returned from commercial. Lee soon powered out of a hold by Dijakovic. Lee blocked a suplex and started to pepper Dijakovic with punches. Lee hit him with a Monty Brown pounce. Dijakovic cut Lee off with a side slam for a 2. Dijakovic measured Lee for a roaring elbow, but Lee countered with a swinging flatliner. Dijakovic then draped him over the middle rope. Dijakovic still managed to get his... Dijakovic managed to get his shoulders up and break the count. Dijakovic with a headbutt knocked Lee off the turnbuckle, and Dijakovic followed this up with a blockbuster for a 2. A cyclone boot netted Dijakovic another 2 count. Dijakovic went for an attempted a flying axe handle, but Lee struck him down with double chops. Lee raised Dijakovic to the heavens with a choke slam before slamming him down to the mat. Lee then delivered a Big Bang catastrophe and just pinned Dijakovic clean in the middle of the ring. Like, just clean. Like, okay, Dijakovic done. I thought at the moment this was like his send-off from NXT to the main roster, but he's got one more match next week. Lee and Dijakovic embraced after the match as the lights went down. Scarlett would walk down to the ring holding a bag. She dumped the remains of the broken hourglass. Didn't say a word. Looked straight at Keith Lee. Walked off. She walked up to the top of the ramp, turned, and looked back at Keith Lee in the ring. Excuse me. So, Dijakovic, after commercial break, was doing a post-match interview when Cross confronted him. They got face-to-face, and a brawl ensued between the two. Cross then laid out Dominik Dijakovic. Next up, Timothy Thatcher was in action, took on Denzel DeJordanette. DeJordanette had an extensive amateur wrestling background that they really talked up and said, hey, he's going to work well against one Timothy Thatcher. But it was all too little too soon. Thatcher attacked DeJordanette after Thatcher went right after DeJordanette early on in this match, locked in a half crab, and DeJordanette tapped out. After the match, DeJordanette was attacked by Timothy Thatcher. Lorcan ran in to make a save. Thatcher bailed out of the ring and had a stare down with Oney Lorcan. Looks like, well, they're not done. Which, I'm glad, because their match was freaking awesome. So Robert Stone was pleading his case to Killian Dane about their coffee incident on the previous episode. Stone put all the heat on Shotzi, saying it was her fault. Aaliyah ran up to Stone to show him a picture drawn by Dexter Lumis. It depicted scenes from last week at the Bash, and one scene was Stone getting his leg ran over by Blackheart's mini tank. Dane then snatched the picture away and looked at it. Dane grabbed Stone by the lapels and sternly told Stone that he wants a match with Dexter Lumis. Not sure why he told one Robert Stone this. Not like Robert Stone is his manager or has the right to make matches, but Robert Stone, I guess, got the match made. Because next week, not only are we getting Dominik Dijakovic versus Karrion Kross, but we're also getting Hold on. So not only next week are we getting Karrion Kross versus Dominik Dijakovic, but we're also getting Killian Dane versus Dexter Lumis. Now, time for the main event. NXT Women's Championship match. I thought this match was great, but it was typical WWE bull. Well, I don't want to say bull. Typical WWE booking. One person in the match just dominates the entire first half, if not more. Then the other person comes back, fires up, looks like they're going to win, and then gets beat. And that's what this match was. Nox was ready to fight here. And she wanted to skip the pre-match introductions. So they just went at it. Started with some chain wrestling on the outside of the match, and they exchanged counters and reversals. They gave way to strikes, and action intensified. They built to a high spot that saw Nox face plant on the apron before a commercial break. Shirai was in control when the show returned from break. Nox fought back. Shirai went for a flying crossbody, but Nox caught her and countered her into a fallaway slam. Nox then bridged it into a cover, but Shirai kicked out. They traded near falls here. Shirai went for a double knee strike. And Nox got knocked down and then kicked out at 2. Nox answered back with a roll up on Shirai. Oklahoma roll then moments later, but Nox was again able to kick out. Shirai got the heat on Nox as Nox played babyface in peril. She fought from underneath as Shirai worked her over. The match went through another commercial break, and Shirai worked on the leg. When they came back, the fight spilled to the outside. Shirai sent Nox crashing into the ring steps. Shirai went to follow this up with double knees, but Nox moved out of the ring just in time, and Shirai went knee first, both knees, right into the steps. Back in the ring, Shirai picked up Nox with a double underhook. Shirai turned it into a backbreaker across her knee, and she sold the knee as well from the earlier spot with the steps. I liked that. And then back to trading near falls here. Nox with a small package, and Shirai with the German suplex. Shirai springboarded to the top, but she was tripped off and in the tree of woe. Nox would then hit her with a cannonball. Nox with a series of clotheslines started firing up here. She followed this up with another cannonball. Nox flew off the top rope with the crossbody into a cover, only got a 2 off of it. Nox then went, as Morrow said, "All Lady Kane," and went for a chokeslam. Shirai kicked out of the chokeslam. Shirai then cut her off and hit her with a German suplex. Shirai, with her finishing sequence, saw her deliver double knees in the corner. Then the Tiger Feint kick. Shirai launched herself into the stratosphere, delivering a missile dropkick for a close near fall. Nox targeted one of Shirai's injured knees. Nox planted Shirai with a sit-out gut buster, or gourd buster, and Nox climbed to the top rope. Nox, off the top, went for a Molly go-round, got a near fall off of it. That would be her last chance trying to pick up the victory, though. Shirai hit her with a palm strike, moonsault, and pinned her to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Tegan Nox was kind of baffled that she lost the match, and, well, Io celebrated at the top of the ramp. With 30 seconds left in the show, Io was then attacked by Dakota Kai from behind. Dakota Kai stood over Io Shirai, stared down to the ring where Tegan Nox was, and the show went off the air. So it looks like the next challenger for Io Shirai is going to be Dakota Kai. But like I stated, I thought the show was good. Not as good as AEW, and I would give tonight's NXT a 7 out of 10. Again, I gave AEW a 7.25. With that, if you guys want to be part of the show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, text in to 510-906-1341. Do have a couple text messages here that I do want to read. This person does state, AEW is really teasing that new women are going to be coming to the brand. Tony Khan even said in an interview that they're going to get some people in AEW that we already know. What's the chances of Tessa Blanchard coming to AEW? Honestly, I've heard that Tessa's all but coming to WWE. I mean, that's what I've been told. That's what many have been told. That's what many are reporting, that it looks like Tessa and WWE are working on a deal. I wouldn't expect AEW to sign Tessa just because of her past. So I don't really think there's much of any really chance of Tessa going to AEW, to be honest. I mean, they've got some good women coming in. They used MJ Jenkins tonight. They got Eva Lise coming in who can be a big star, especially since they don't have that one big Latina female. So I think Eva Lise can be that. Let's see if I can get this one to load. I'm not going to read those since they're not wrestling related. This is a wrestling podcast, not a NASCAR podcast, even though I know you guys were talking about it in the live chat. Got one more text message here if it will ever load. This person says, after Raw, they teased Io. No. Whoa, I read that way wrong. Wow. I read, what? I'm not even, yeah. That's called dyslexia kicking in. I read Kairi Sane as Io Shirai. Anyways, after Raw, they teased Kairi Sane challenging Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Do you see this happening at SummerSlam? And could we get 2 big women's title matches with also seeing Bayley challenged by Sasha? Yes, and yes, but maybe. So we reported last week that they might be doing another Evolution here by the end of August or around that time. And if that's the plan, then they can't do both of these matches at SummerSlam. They got to do one at SummerSlam and wait to do the other one at Evolution, if not both at Evolution. It's still being talked about, possible Evolution. I don't think it's a coincidence that this week is WWE Women's Evolution Week. I mean, they could announce something at the pay-per-view on Sunday, just saying. But, like I said, I could see both those matches happening. I know about a month or two ago, the report was, I mean, there was reports going around that they were holding that off because Sasha and Bayley have been so good together, and now that they're the tag champs, they don't want to break them up yet. They just want to keep teasing the breakup. So I can see both matches happening eventually. I don't know if both will happen at SummerSlam, though. Just saying. So with that, guys, that's going to do it for tonight's AEW Fight for the Fallen and NXT review. Again, like I stated, Nick and I will be live again tomorrow night right here on PW Unlimited's Twitch, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. I think we're going to be doing some sort of a video game stream, possibly with WWE 2K20. Again, thank you guys for migrating over here with us to Twitch. Thank you for everybody that's followed us so far, helped us grow this channel quicker than I expected. And with that, I want to say good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.